Hey everyone, welcome to a video on how to establish communication in Canvas. It's one of the most important things we do because we don't have daily face-to-face contact with students. We want to have still daily contact with students. One of the ways we can do that is through this announcements on this front page. But the problem is a student to see the announcement would have to log in every time. So we want to take that announcement and put it in an email or in a text message without having to send an email and a text message every time. So make your screen full screen so that your screen looks like mine, and then we'll move forward. To make this work, we need to go to our account and go into our personal settings. Once in our settings, we'll notice that there are certain ways to contact our students and ways to be contacted as a student. And a lot of the email addresses you'll notice will be their parents' email addresses. We want to invite our students to add their own personal email addresses and their personal cell phone numbers so that they can receive text messages and notifications the instant that we make a new announcement or send a communication. So clicking on add an email address, then I will put in the email address that I'd like to add. And for this case, I'm going to put in our family's email address, and this will represent either a student's email, personal email, or a parent's email that we want to add, and hit register email. You'll receive a confirmation to that email inviting you to confirm the address. The additional contact, you hit the plus contact, and then we're going to put in our country and go down to United States. Add our cell phone number. I'm going to add my wife's cell phone number here. Select the carrier and then hit register SMS. And then you're going to receive a notification in your text messages that you're going to have to verify that number. Now that I've got all my ways to contact updated here, what I need to do then is change my notification settings. And this is really important because I get to hand pick what kind of things I want to know or be notified of as they happen to increase the speed of communication and keep it contained within Canvas so that we're not having to do a Canvas notification and then go send out text messages and then go send out emails and Ys. We want to just try and self-contain this. And so by linking our email accounts, cell phone numbers to Canvas, then as teachers and students, we can go to one place to make our communications, but then receive updates in our cell phones and in our emails or whatever you choose. The most important things are this. You don't have to worry about grading policies or course content. What we really are mostly concerned about, and you'll get notifications, is if a teacher adds a due date to a module, then you will get pinged every day a due date is coming. And so that then if a module or a lesson in seminary is due today, your cell phone will tell you. And so we want to have all of our due dates checked off. Check, 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 check. Here I added my wife's email address, and if I was a student, this would be my parents' email address, and I'd want my parent to know. And then here's my new cell phone number, and I'd want my parents to get updated every time there's a due date if I want my parents to help me. I don't need to worry about other things except for announcements. These are really big. So every time an announcement comes into your course, boom, check on my email address, check on my cell phone number, check on my notifications in my app if I have the Canvas app downloaded, and then I want to add my parents and add my parents' cell phone. Okay, everything else I am not worried about. Look, all these X's here, late grading, all submissions, keep going. Discussions, not worried about it unless maybe I want to know that my friends have commented on my post, but again, not a big deal, not worried about conversations. The next thing, scheduling, nothing until we get here to calendar. When, for example, a teacher will schedule their Zoom meetings on Mondays at 8 a.m., then I need to have my calendar updated here so that I will get notifications. I will add my parents' email and my parents' cell phone number to that list. Calendar, check, good. If I'm in a stake that is organizing by groups inside of a class, for example, some stakes have one stake class and then each ward is organized by groups, then I would go in and make sure my group information is checked off. So check for group updates whenever a teacher is trying to communicate through the group. Otherwise, if I'm in a class, X's. Conferences, X's. Alerts, X's. This is all Canvas kind of stuff. If they're going to say, like, for example, Canvas is shut down for 24 hours so we can update our firmware, that would, then you'd get an alert for that. And if you're not interested in that, don't worry about it. So let's go over this one more time. Due date, check. Announcements, check. Calendar, check. If I'm in groups, check for group updates. Otherwise, everything else can be X'd out. And this way, I will get notifications on my app. I'll get a text message through my cell phone, and I'll also receive an email address, and I can add my parents' cell phone and email here. And this will help me to get information and contain everything so that I know what my teacher is doing. The next thing I want to show you, just to make sure, is in our settings here. It's really important because sometimes if I'm going to use the calendar in Canvas, there is a time zone. Well, right here, it is Pacific time zone. However, if you went to your profile, I bet you it would say Mountain Standard Time Zone. Why does it say Mountain Standard Time Zone? Because that's where the church headquarters is, and a lot of this stuff is being created out of Salt Lake, so they have MST as their time zone, and it's the default time zone. So I've got to go over to Edit Settings over here. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to update this from Mountain Time to Pacific Time. And then I hit Update Settings, and now when things show up in the calendar, it'll be accurate. It'll be, for example, if I was having an 8 a.m. weekly Zoom class with my students, what would happen then is that if it was set up to MST, this would be a 9 a.m. class, and you'd get confused. Oh, I thought it was 9 a.m. Well, that's because it's 9 a.m. in Utah. It's 8 a.m. here in San Diego. And so this is our mountains. This is why you want to change your time zone so that you're not confused. Here's what your due dates are going to look like as they show up on your calendar. So you could just go to your calendar, click on the module, and you'd know exactly where you need to go, and what you need to do that day. I could click here and it would take me straight to the module. So the calendar's really nice because then I can just go into the calendar. It tells me everything I need to do that day. Okay, I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Remember, we're updating our account. We need to change our settings so that we can make sure our contact information is correct. Change the notifications so that we can make sure our calendar, our announcements, and our due dates are all checked off. If we're in groups, we need to check off groups. And then we need to change our time zone so that we're all coordinated and communicating correctly at the same time and same dates. And have a wonderful day, online, offline, wherever you're at.